So it's been kind of a long week, kind of a long day, lots of things happening in the news. I thought, rather than like taking a long bath, I'd do a video and draw some memory tickets. And this is something I do call memory tickets. Pull out concert tickets. Most of these are from years past when you got physical tickets. Although, if I have any newer ones, I do put them in here. Don't quite go to shows the way I used to, but I'm going to draw three of them and hopefully I can remember the circumstances and talk about it a little bit. So let's see. I'm reaching in here. This feels. I don't know what this. Okay. Sometimes you can tell by feel. Oh wow. Okay. Guided by voices. The Vic Theater. All right. I remember this. Um. Yeah. In a way, I was kind of just talking about this. So this is 2001, Guided by Voices, Vic Theater in Chicago. Kind of a cool little place. I think it was the first time I'd been there. It might be the only time I'd been there. Um, and Guided by Voices played, and I went with a couple of friends. We were living in Minneapolis, and we had rented like a little hotel room. Well, probably more like a motel room, and partying quite a bit, having a good time, and went to see Guided by Voices. And maybe I'm confused. Now I think I am confusing this with something else. Maybe I'm confusing it with seeing them in Madison. Anyway, I should edit out this confusion because it really has little to do with the story. But the confusion was that I thought this was the time that I saw My Morning Jacket opening up for them, which I did just talk about. But that's not really. That was in Madison, Wisconsin. This one is in Chicago, 2001. So that's Isolation Drills time with Guided by Voices. In some ways, like their most mature record. It's one of my favorite. It's very personal. It's after Robert Pollard was getting a divorce, and yeah, so they're supporting that album. This ticket was only $17.50, and yeah, there weren't a whole lot of. It looks like $5.25 as a service fee. Pretty far cry from what we see these days. And yeah, every show I've ever seen by Guided by Voices, except for maybe one, has been really, really good. And I remember this one being a lot of fun. I don't remember too many specifics because we were quite inebriated. We were having a really good time in Chicago when we saw Guided by Voices at the Vic Theater. But one of my favorite live bands, just always so much fun. And Isolation Drills, like I said, is one of my favorite albums. Yeah, major label album. Rick Ocasek had done the one before that, Do the Collapse, and this was Isolation Drills. The big songs of it were Chasing Heather Crazy and Glad Girls, but like song like The Brides Have Hit Glass, just excellent, excellent album. And yeah, even I mean Chasing Heather Crazy, I think is like kind of the perfect pop song. So Isolation Drills, you can't go wrong with as an album. And yeah, this was a good time to see Guided by Voices. It was the lineup with Doug Gilliard, which I suppose you could say that of this lineup too, but Nate Farley and some other people. And it was a period before he got the classic lineup back together, and then took a year or two off, and then or more than that, and then brought back or formed the band that he has now. Okay, let's see. Let's grab another ticket here. Maybe it could be another Guided Voices ticket. I don't know. Okay, let's see. This is Frank Black and the Catholics. I was just talking about this too, actually. 1998. So Frank Black and the Catholics. Frank Black, of course, is from the Pixies. He put out several solo records. Then he started doing these records with the Catholics. His first solo record was self-titled. Then we had Teenager of the Year, and Cult of Ray, and there might have been maybe another one before he formed the Catholics. But his big thing with the Catholics was like just back to basics kind of rock. And he made a big deal out of the fact that he recorded it live to 2-track. So, this was kind of a band meant to be taken on the road, no frills. And honestly, okay, this is ground zero too. This is Prince's place. After Prince owned it. It used to be called Glam Slam, and in Minneapolis. And the thing I remember about this is just how stubborn he seemed. Like he would not play any Pixies, not even a hint of it. It felt like in a way like he was teasing it, and I almost want to say that he played just a lick on his guitar or something to get us all like riled up. I don't know if that's totally true, but it was not that great of a show. I just remember thinking, what are you doing? He had this great band, and I love some of his solo records, but the Frank Black and the Catholic stuff, I couldn't quite get into as much, and I haven't really listened to it since. But yeah, with the Pixies back in the day, oh man, yeah, I love Black Francis a lot more than Frank Black. But yeah, 1998. What was this one? This was $13, and it had a $3 service fee on it. So much better than what we have now. Okay, what's the last one gonna be? This is kind of a feels like an old school ticket. Oh, I can hardly. Oh wow. Oh, this is great. Okay, I can hardly read this. But this is Wilco at the University of Minnesota, Northrop Auditorium, on October 10th, 2007. This one, oh boy, I don't even know if I could possibly. Oh yeah, $33 was the price, and I don't see anything mentioning a service fee. I was in the 11th row, and I remember this quite clearly. It was. Now, I'd been a Wilco fan from the beginning, essentially. Got really, really into them being there. I've talked about that. Saw them numerous times with Jay Bennett. Saw them numerous times afterwards. This was when Sky Blue Sky came out, an album that I really, really enjoyed, but it took me a little while. I think it took some people a little while as well. It was kind of a more introspective, more quiet, simple record compared to Ghost is Born and Yankee Hotel Foxtrot and the records that came before that, like Summer Teeth. But it's a really, really good record. It's very, very strong. And the thing I remember most about this show was just how great it sounded and how professional it was. It might have been like the most professional, most theater-like, most like immersive, sound-wise, just gorgeous, gorgeous show that I've seen by them. I don't remember a lot of rock songs. I just remember like really immersing yourself in the Sky Blue Sky kind of material. Well, I could be wrong. I'm sure they played familiar songs too, but I just remember it sounding so lush and so wonderful and so much stereo separation. Really being able to pick out individual parts. And this was at Northrop Auditorium. This is a small place. This is where I graduated when I graduated from University of Minnesota. The graduation ceremony was done there. I also saw Springsteen solo on Tom Joad at Northrop, and then again on Devils and Dust when he played solo shows. But yeah, this was a great show. I remember my friend Greg was there with me, and he was just like, wow, I feel like I just saw the Beatles or something. I mean, it just was so on, and they just really, I mean, they just really, really shined that night. And Minneapolis has always been a town that's been so good to them, but that is probably, if you don't count those early Jay Bennett shows for me, like the ones I saw him being there were just unbelievably good. This might be like my favorite time, or one of them that I saw Wilco, and I've seen him an awful lot of times. But yeah, University of Minnesota, October 10th, 2007, Wilco. Sky Blue Sky, I think, is a great record too. I might play that after this video. I haven't played it in quite a while, and I don't know, kind of feels like maybe it's time for some Sky Blue Sky. But yeah, there is Sky Blue Sky here right now, actually, in Seattle. It's very, very sunny. And in a way, I feel guilty for making this video. So maybe I'll go outside and then I'll put on some Sky Blue Sky. Or maybe I'll do neither and just admit that I like to talk about things that I end up not doing half the time. But anyway, have a great one. And yeah, these three shows, Frank Black, Wilco, and Guided by Voices. All three of those artists I've seen numerous times in different configurations. But thanks, everyone.